Hello and welcome to the Business Success Network and magazine. I am Stacey Calder. I'm the owner and editor of both the magazine and the network. And I am excited today because, as you can see, we now have a Business Success Network studio, and I've dragged in a special guest to start our week off really in the best possible way. Now, I have started with this expert because he's a bit of a cheeky chappy. I love him dearly. And he is probably our latest expert. So he appeared on the podcast not long ago. And so I wanted to bring him in. So I'm not going to sit here and steal all the limelight, if you like. I'm going to bring him in and welcome Mr. Mike Boss.
Good afternoon, Stacey. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you, my dear. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for that.
I'm loving this studio type thing.
It's far too posh for me, to be fair. I feel quite overwhelmed.
It almost makes us look a bit professional, doesn't it?
I should have done my lippy before I came on, I think, yeah.
You should have. Actually, do you know what? I was on a news at 9 for a client earlier, and I realised that, it goes out live at 9 a.m, similar to this. And I thought, better get that lippy on to make sure that I did look half awake. So anyway, we're not here to talk about my clients. We're here to talk about you. So,
that's you.
Well, what should we talk about? Because we could talk about a whole number of things, from mince pie to your videos.
Well,
you lead. Finance, of course.
I was going to say, Stacey, you lead. You tell me what you want to know, and I'll follow you.
Well, we kind of did this, didn't we? So you very cheekily posted the other day saying, "Well, I've checked my diary and it's not me." And I thought, wow. And Kara's actually just commented saying, "Oh, he tricked us." Actually, when you left that comment, you didn't know it was going to be you, did you?
No, I had no idea. So I'm, as I said, if I'm your first guest, it can only get better from here, to be honest. So
no, not at all. I'm gonna what I am going to do is I'm going to go through all the experts though, and so that it gives them a bit of a chance to kind of introduce themselves and who they are and what they do. And I think this is really important for you because, well, if anyone's like me, asset finance sounds a little bit scary.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's not at all. If it's asset finance, and I've been doing it for many, many years, sadly, as you can tell by my boyish good looks. But yeah, it's very simple. I always say, if you imagine that when you go into a car dealership, maybe to buy a car, normally when you look at the windscreen of the car, it probably won't say the cash price of the car. It may say, £850 per month. And that, in a nutshell, is what asset finance is. So it's enabling you as a business to spread the cost of your equipment over a fixed term, normally up to about 5 years. There's many, many benefits of doing that. Obviously, you're spreading the cost, so you haven't got that large initial outlay. You have almost an immediate return on investment because you're paying for it as you use it. And there's loads of tax benefits to doing so as well. I mean, often the net cost to your business is cheaper than paying cash. But I say, in a nutshell, it's simply being able to spread the cost. And obviously, at the moment, with nobody knowing what's quite around the corner, there's probably never been a more important time to be thinking about, preserving your cash, really.
Yeah, and actually, you came out with something the other day, and it made me think about it in a completely different way. My dad used to tell me, never, if you can't afford to buy it outright, you don't buy it, and very kind of old-fashioned mindset. But crikey, if he's watching this, he's not going to like me saying that, is he? But you said something along the lines of, well, you don't pay your staff in advance.
Absolutely, yeah. How many staff, how many companies pay their staff 3 years in advance? Well, nobody. They pay for them as they're using them. And that's exactly the same as any equipment. And as I said, the beauty of asset finance is people normally think about just financing their cars or machinery because that's normally what banks will finance. But most of what I do is the sort of, the less traditional assets. So you can finance pretty much anything: signage for your business, scaffolding, lighting. I do a lot of financing for software, for example. So, and as I said, and that's exactly the same as a member of staff. So, why aren't you paying for it as you use it?
And you like to, I have to say, you do bring a bit of fun to the asset finance world, don't you? In fact, I can read Kara's comments, and she's just said, "Oh my God, I've only just realized his banner is a song." Now, drawing attention to your brilliant branding there, please release me, let cash flow. I'm not going to sing it because I am not a singer. But you do, Sorry, say again.
I said, don't let me stop you singing. Honestly,
No.
Okay,
honestly, I am definitely not an entertainer when it comes to that. But you like to have a bit of fun, and you talk about all the different ways you can finance things, and and whilst yes, we are here to talk about finance and what you do. Actually, I think getting behind the kind of personality of our experts really helps people to understand, if they want to work with you or not. So yeah,
Sure.
you are a bit of a cheeky chappy. I have met Mr. LinkedIn guy, haven't I? So
you have, yeah, absolutely. A man of many characters, I have to say.
You are, and I love that about you. Actually, that's really drawn me to want to work with you. Is when you go on LinkedIn and you are not your stereotypical man in a suit. You may have been known to do a few videos smoking the old pipe. But the fact that you can laugh, it's there. Oh, I didn't know we were going to have him in the studio.
It's always the hand, Stacey. It's always the hand.
Brilliant. But you do laugh and make light of those people that, and we see so many of them, don't we? These LinkedIn guys, not just LinkedIn, actually, where they're talking about their 6-figure income, their car, all that sort of thing. And you really poke fun at it. It's been fantastic to watch.
Yeah, it's funny on social media. Most people always post the really good stuff, and I always say never believe everything you read on social media, because there's all these people who go on about I've been up since 4 a.m. down the gym. Now I'm off. The videos are normally filmed in a car. They're normally off to the airport to sign up another great deal, and they've normally just had their record month. But if you check back on their social media profiles, that means they've normally had a record month for the last sort of 72 consecutive months. So yeah, I like to what I do is very serious and it's very useful for businesses, but I like to have a bit of fun with it. And I'm not your stereotypical finance guy.
You're not. And even your posts, so you post quite a lot into the Business Success Network group, which I love, and they literally make me laugh out loud sometimes. They really do.
At least someone's laughed once, so that's the important thing.
Oh, come on. Yeah? So what is this week's post? What have we got to look forward to this week? What's the joke?
Well, actually, I have to say, I haven't done any, bizarrely, which is very unlike me. I've done about 4 posts today, but none of them have been. I did make a sort of similarly to the whole thing about being up since 3:30 and going down the gym. Well, I did I put that same post, and then I put, which was true, I've actually been up since 3:30. I then got out, ran down the stairs, stepped into a cold plate of cat food, and smashed my knee on the work surface. But yeah, it's normally, most of the stuff I post is terrible dad jokes. I mean, there's, I think one last week was something about I've just hung a picture in the office, nailed it. It's just terrible stuff like that. And yeah, the whole Engelbert Humperdinck, please release me, let cash flow thing is just an awful example of that, really.
But we love it, and it draws attention to you. People are noticing you. Here we go. Kara's just said he posts a lot about mince pies, doesn't he?
I am quite fond of a mince pie. It has to be. I didn't know many people knew that, to be honest. I don't mention it very often.
No, you don't. And clearly we've got people watching that have seen that, and I just think it's testament to you, really, that we're in the middle of August on a very hot day here in Warwick. Well, it's definitely hot here in Warwickshire. The
Lovely down here, yeah.
And we're still talking about mince pies. How you have not been signed up to a mince pie company yet? Where's Mr. Kipling when you need him? Does he make mince pies? I'm surprised we've not got a corporate deal yet, to be honest.
I make 2 very valid points. The first one being that, and this is straight to camera now, a very serious point, and mince pies for life, not just for Christmas. But secondly, if you think about it, whilst we had mince pies still in the shops, we never had COVID-19. So I'll leave that, take that as you want.
So we need to bring mince pies back then to get rid of COVID. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. It's all about the mince pies. So absolutely.
Oh, brilliant. I do love a mince pie. Now, let me ask you one very serious question. And while we're talking about mince pies,
Go on.
Yeah, hashtag brand ambassador. Cara knows this. She'll be going out there tweeting Mr. Kipling soon, saying, come on. So are you a mince pie with icing on the top, or are you a mince pie with, your traditional kind of pastry?
Well, my preferred option would probably be without the icing, but as I always say, you don't get to be a man of my size without, by being fussy about his mince pies. So whether that be, on their own with cream, custard, pretty much anything really.
Wow. There you go, ladies and gents. If you want to get around Mike Boss, send him mince pies. Not just the boxes though. Hey, Mike.
No, there was yes. There is a certain lady who very kindly sent me as part of the networking group. I remember very kindly as a thank you sent me a package.
In this group, so we
can, Pippa, bless her, love Pippa to bits, and she said, "Oh, I've sent you a little something in the post as a thank you." And I opened up, and it was 25 boxes of mince pies. Well, not quite. It was actually 25 flat packed catering. The white boxes of mince pies, albeit there was no mince pies within them. So I'm waiting for those mince pies to arrive. And the fact there was 25 boxes, then that's a lot of mince pies.
That's a lot of mince pies to live up to, that is, isn't it? Yeah. So maybe we're just waiting for them to come into stock again. Right then, Mike, we have 4 minutes.
Okay.
4 minutes for you to shout about what you do, anything you want to tell us. I mean, I could sit here and talk to you all day. We haven't covered the duck pedalo. If anyone hasn't heard Mike's story about the duck pedalo, you need to go and check out the podcast, because actually that was our longest ever podcast, wasn't it, Mike? Me and you could have just chatted rubbish for 40 minutes, didn't we?
I'd imagine for you it certainly felt like the longest, Stacey, having to talk to me. Yeah, but yeah, funny, actually on my LinkedIn profile, I think on one of my headlines it is the Pedalo King of Dorset. So, but yeah, say check out your podcast to learn the story behind the giant duck. So yeah, as I said,
there is a good cause behind it, isn't it?
Absolutely, and as I said, there is rumours that the duck may be coming out of retirement at some point. So watch this space.
Is it going to be chasing pies?
Who knows? Well, in fact, there's another sponsorship opportunity there, so we can certainly examine that.
Branded ducks.
Yes, absolutely. So
what's the strangest thing you financed then, Mike?
I think I mentioned this in the podcast. Actually, I did once finance a container load of chicken feed, which is a bit out of the ordinary. And as I said, because I'm always saying, I always say sort of challenge the boss, find me something that I can't finance. Because as I said, most banks and finance companies. Yeah,
that is a brilliant idea. We've got. I'll share this over into our Business Success Network group. In fact, Cara, do us a favour while you're watching live, flick it over into the group for me and Mike, and let's challenge Bossy. He is our expert. I hold my hands up. You are by far the funniest, most creative asset finance guy that I've ever met. I would highly recommend you. Like you say, you don't pay your staff 3 years in advance. But Cara's just said, I can find you something you can't finance. And she's laughing.
I'll eagerly await.
Challenge, let's get that hashtag going now. Hashtag challenge Bossy. Find him something that you think he cannot finance. Obviously, you need to be able to kind of use it for your business, right?
It has to be an asset of some sort. Yes. It can't be a service, sadly, but as long as it's a product of some sort, then yeah, challenge the boss. That's what I always say.
Right. Hashtag challenge Bossy then. I am going to let that loose in our group later on, Mike. If you're not part of the group, actually, you can join us. It's a free group. Just type in Business Success Network as it appears on the top of the screen there. Mike's in there along with all our other experts and myself, offering support, advice. There is around 900 people in there now, just, networking, offering to do business with each other and stuff like that. So we can also find Mike on the Meet the Experts page of the website. As I said, we can find him on the latest podcast, and you can find him on the app. Now, if you head over to the app and go into the expert panel, you will be able to ask Mike a question. Obviously, drop your questions below here as well, and we'll check back in. Mike, we've had 15 minutes. What would you like to end on?
I was just going to say, anything I can help with from a finance point of view, please challenge the boss. Check me out on LinkedIn. And this is now really bad. This shows how you're the social media queen, and I'm merely a social media mortal. But But my LinkedIn tag, I think, is the Finance Guy UK. But search Mike Boss Finance and you'll find me. But I say, yeah, anything I can help with. And I always say to people, any kind of finance, if you're going out, if you go to buy a car and you go into a car dealership, don't just accept their finance offer to you. Shop around, because there's always a better offer to be had.
There you go. Always a better offer to be had. Challenge Bossy. Head over LinkedIn. I promise you, if you want a bit of a laugh and a pick-me-up today, go over to LinkedIn and look at Mike's videos. They are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Whether it's, in fact, go and find the one about networking, because that really makes me laugh every time I watch it.
I will repost that on LinkedIn today, so it's high up my feed.
Brilliant. Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure. Like I said, I was very aware that we said 15 minutes, and now I'm wishing we'd have said 30, to be honest, because I could chat to you all day. Go and check out the podcast, guys. Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me. And that's it. So I'm not going to leave you with anything else other than go and check out Mike Boss. He is our finance guy. We are going to be bringing in more and more experts to do shows like this each week. We've certainly got a fantastic line of other stuff going on. And if you'd like to be an expert within our network, or you'd like to join me on a live like this, give me a shout. Thanks, guys. That is a wrap. See you soon.